Well, here it is, guys. This is what you've all been waiting for. There's been a lot of confusion, misinformation, and straight up lies about it. But now we've got the exclusive inside scoop and the world's first gameplay anyone has ever seen ever of the new Leviathan coming to Ark soon. Check this out. Today's video is sponsored by SCD Key. Ever looking at buying a game like Ark, but you just aren't sure if you want to shell out the $60? I mean, it kind of sucks spending $60, right? Well, SCD Key has the solution. SCD Key is a platform that sells official Microsoft keys, game keys, Steam CD keys, Origin CD keys, Uplay CD keys, PSN prepaid cards, and Xbox prepaid cards at a much lower price. So, I have a special deal for y'all today. If you're itching to get in on the action and join me on my server and be a part of these videos like the one you're watching now, then grab a copy of Ark at a deep discount by visiting SCD Key and using my discount code SFRE at checkout. Link in the description. Go check it out. Yep, there it is. The first 13 seconds of gameplay. That's actually all we were able to get our hands on for now. Still very, very cool though. It's been really crazy because this is probably the most hyped up mod that has ever been released or that will ever be released for Ark. We've had a lot of cool stuff in the past, but I don't think I've ever seen anything as just crazy hyped as the Leviathan with the Dragonpunk mod. Boy, does this thing look really good, huh? I mean, just look at the quality of that. That looks like something that belongs in Ark. I mean, we've seen renderings and stuff of it, but we've never actually seen it in game. And this crazy bad boy giant fishy thing is gonna be tameable, and you're even gonna be able to get a platform saddle on it and fly around with that. That's insane. It's designed to be a tank, and taming seems to be something that's gonna involve some kind of magic craft or something like that. There's actually going to be two different types of Leviathans too. There's going to be a big daddy Leviathan like the one you're seeing, and there's also going to be a smaller Leviathan. This bad boy son of a gun is set to release not June 10th, as has been said with no verification, nothing. It's just like a date that was made up. No, it's not set for June 10th. It's not set for even August 7th. You'll be seeing the Leviathan available come September 1st, I believe it was, as part of the Dragonpunk role-playing servers and storyline thing that they're doing. It will be publicly available October 1st. So let's just clarify. You're not getting the Leviathan June 10th, because obviously we're not in June anymore. You're not getting the Leviathan even in August. You, the commoner, will have access to the Leviathan October 1st. And this is straight from the horse's mouth. Without doing too much talking myself, we actually sat down and chatted with the big guy himself, Daddy Dragon, the guy who is behind everything Dragonpunk. And we asked him some questions. We had a little bit of a chat and we talked about the mod and all kinds of other really cool stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let that roll. And if you have any interest in that, then you can listen in and hear what this is all about and hear about what is going on with the development of Dragonpunk and all of that. Because I know that, for example, Dragonpunk is kind of a weird concept that a lot of people don't get. So what is Dragonpunk exactly? Now, I've made videos about Dragonpunk in the past, and I've asked this question: what exactly is Dragonpunk? What is it? Is it this giant floating thing that is like a world-ending boss creature that you like build on the back of? Is it like magic casting Harry Potter stuff? Is it like cyberpunk dragon stuff? Is it like yiffing? What is it? I don't know exactly. So to figure it out, what's that?
Sorry. That's a great question. Man, I feel like you have to re-record that. So, Dragonpunk is a fan-led initiative to make a AAA Shadowrun game, and it was supposed to be just simply a mod. My father was fatally shot 3 years ago, and he had always encouraged me to follow my dreams and get into the video game industry, and I just wanted to make a mod in his honor, just a simple Shadowrun mod. And I went to ask Microsoft, who has the rights, the digital rights for a Shadowrun video game, and I finally got all the way to the top, and they said they just had no interest in making a game, that no one was interested in Dragons and Shadowrun, and I left that totally dejected. But I had met so many great people who were interested in a AAA Shadowrun game that we're like, okay, let's go ahead and do this on our own. But obviously we can't call it Shadowrun, so we'll call it Dragonpunk. And just like that, Dragonpunk was born.
Jeez, okay. That was a lot more hardcore than I was expecting. That's pretty cool, though. Anyway, so yeah, that's Dragonpunk Dan. He's the guy who's the big cheese, the one who's running it all. And by the way, Dragonpunk is a sponsored mod. It's been on the sponsored mod list for some time. That means the ARK developers are actually putting money into the development of this mod. Honestly, this is probably the most hyped up mod at the moment that everybody's really looking forward to. So yeah, that's who's talking.
On that note, actually, we're very excited to do this, and we want everybody to get excited as well. But we also want to manage expectations, because this is a mod. This is not a DLC. So we want to have everybody looking forward to this, have it anticipated, but we also don't want to overhype it and promise everything. Where, again, at the end of the day, we're just modders. We're all working 2 to 3 jobs, and we're doing the best we can. We're very proud of the product, but we also don't want to have exaggerated expectations or overhype it.
Okay. So can you help me? Now, I've asked this question in like a previous video that I did. Can you help us understand, like, so you kind of gave us the backstory of what you wanted it to be. You said you wanted it to be a AAA Shadowrun title. Was that it?
Right. So
okay.
This is the initiative to kind of build up support, to show Microsoft that there is an interest in. Because right now, Harebrained Schemes makes Shadowrun games, and they're the original developers of Shadowrun, so it certainly would be best for them to do it. But there's always a risk when you're looking to make a AAA game, because you're looking at $40 to $100 million budgets, and that's just a lot of risk that publishers don't want to take. So our idea was to be a fan-led initiative, modders, to get it out there, to show that there's interest in that type of game. And so hopefully we'll get picked up, whether it's us or whether it's Harebrained Schemes or anyone else.
Okay, and for those of us who don't know much about Shadowrun and all of that, so you say you want to make a Shadowrun game. Now, I was under the impression that that was kind of already being done by somebody. So how would that work? Are you hoping to kind of get in and take over the development of that with your own team, or how exactly, how does that work? You making a Shadowrun game?
Another great question. So Harebrained Schemes has made CRPGs, which are essentially cheaper, $1 million to $2 million games, and they're fantastic games, especially Shadowrun, Dragonfall. But they're not yet making the jump to something like, say, a $40 to $100 million game, and it's unlikely that they're probably going to do that. So again, we're hoping to inspire publishers or Microsoft or whomever to make that jump. To what we do is mitigate risk. And yes, it would be great if we were a part of that initiative. But at the end of the day, as long as a AAA Shadowrun game gets made, we're happy.
Okay, so I think I'm sort of starting to follow. Now, you're into game development and you know all of that. I don't know anything about game development. The people who are watching this don't know anything about game development. So let me make sure that we all understand this right. So Shadowrun is an intellectual property. So Microsoft owns it, if I understand that correctly. And if Microsoft owns it, then they're going to decide, who do we want to make our Shadowrun game with? And so it's almost like you're kind of trying to bid to them in a way and say like, hey, make it with us. Do we kind of understand that?
Actually, so again, yes, we'd be happy for anybody else to do it. Harebrained schemes would obviously be the #1 choice. But we've been approaching Microsoft every October for the last 3 years and put in a bid to, hey, we'll make this AAA Shadowrun game for you. And each year they've turned it down. Now, things have really changed at Microsoft lately. They've bought 4 new studios. There's new leadership running the video games, and they're investing a lot of money into video games. And it's funny because we think that one of their most profitable IPs would be one that they actually own, not one that they have to acquire through a different studio. And so maybe this year can be the year. At some point, if Dragonpunk itself gets popular enough, then maybe we can develop that. But again, we're committed to our Shadowrun fans and making Shadowrun a reality.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. And I mean, let us know what we as the collective can do to help with that. I want to now kind of like switch over and ask some more like specific questions. So let's kind of take it back to the surface level and ask questions about things that, people on ARK are wondering. And then I actually have some more questions that I personally want to ask, but
Absolutely.
So first of all, I mean, the big old thing that we're talking about in this video is the Leviathan. Now, this is something everybody is super excited for. You've seen videos all over the place. People are like, oh my gosh, this is coming. Of course, they said June 10th, but that was just clickbait. Good clickbait, by the way. So first of all, I mean, what's the deal? What is this Leviathan? How does it fit in with Dragonpunk? What is it?
So Dragonpunk Season 2 started on July 10th. We started on track with the tournament, and like we put in our roadmap on Twitter and in our Discord, all of our role-playing seasons start with the tournament. So now that the tournament is over, we're onboarding people for the role-playing season, and that's going to have the Leviathan creature. It's actually a Pieist dragon, P-E-I-S-T dragon. It's just been codenamed Leviathan. Leviathan itself is kind of a water creature, and this flies through the air. So from now on, we're going to be calling it a Pieist dragon.
Okay. So, like, what's it for? What does it do? I mean, does this thing, can you just, like, chomp people, just swallow them whole, or what?
Well, so all our mods are completely up to the players for what they want to see as far as the abilities. We do not envision the Leviathan as a damage dealer or damage type dragon, DPS type dragon. We see it more as like a tank role. But again, if that's what the players want, then that's what we'll give them. And I think that's been the great part about being a modder, is that we're able to change very quickly and on the fly based on player feedback. So we're for players by players, and that's one of the great aspects of being able to mod and being able to change things quickly.
Okay, cool. So when is this bad boy coming out? Like, hey, let's get rid of all of the, all the fake false news. Like, let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth. When are we getting the Leviathan, bro?
Well, if you register for our role-playing Season 2, which is absolutely free, you just have to make a character and role-play that character, then you can unlock it once you've unlocked the Crystal Isles event. And so that would be maybe sometime early September. It depends on how quickly you get through the event. It will be completely free on Steam Workshop on October 1st for everyone to use in their own servers or however they'd like.
Okay, got it. Now, is this something that you're going to have to tame, or, I mean, what's the process with getting one of these yourself on the server? Is there going to be like a cap with how many are on a server? Is it one per server, or is there going to be several? How does that work?
That's a very good question. Right now, we're looking at one per server, one large one per server. There's actually 2 sizes, and we'll talk about that a little bit more tomorrow. So, but one large one per server, kind of like the Titanosaur. And the taming, I think we're going to look at various methods, because right now we're looking at taming via our Dragonpunk Magic Nexus mod. But I know not everyone's going to want to use that. So we're actually going to look into different ways to tame it if you were just saying playing vanilla ARK, or maybe playing this with another great rebalancing mod.
Okay. One thing that I'm wondering is, so in some of the trailers and stuff that we've seen for Dragonpunk, I mean, we've seen a lot of different media come from the Dragonpunk team and everything. We've seen futuristic cities and cars. We've seen the Leviathan. We've seen all kinds of different dragon models. We've seen new armor and stuff like that. We've seen the Dragonpunk magic mod. We've seen the Dragonpunk creatures mods. We've seen lots and lots of stuff. So how does this all like fit in together? And I mean, I guess to be a little bit more specific, like what's the virtual city and stuff about? Like how does that work together? You know, you have like a futuristic city and you have like magic casting and mythical creatures and everything. How does that all fit together?
So that is another great question. And I know that I say that often, but it is a good question. So Dragonpunk Tribe of Gods is essentially the origin story of Dragonpunk Cloud, which is our full game that we've been working on from the ground up. It's for cloud gaming. It has essentially epic graphics on any device. It's optimized for cloud gaming, like the Improbable's spatial OS engine. And so when we came to Studio Wildcard, we pitched them as, hey, we want to create the origin story. And it's going to be focused on the Celtic folklore of the Tuath De Danann and 𝗘𝗫𝗖𝗟𝗍, which is going to be our custom map coming out later in season 3, or map extension, I should say. And they liked it. Jot was great. Jot was really excited and helped us get into the sponsored mod program, of course. And I think it's worked out well because the epic events and the epic adventures and the characters that the players have in our role-playing seasons go actually into the Dragonpunk lore and create the backstory that will be used in the full game, of course, with their permission. And I think everyone's really excited. And I think as game developers, that helps us because instead of just making up weird characters that no one ever cares about, it's your character and your story that becomes the backstory for the Dragonpunk universe.
Well, if I haven't heard anything more cool than that in a while, hot damn, that's pretty neat. I think I'm gonna have to get in on this role-playing server of yours to get my character in your final game. You know, so you're saying a final game, so that means it's something not ARK then. Do I understand that right? Or is this, oh, okay. Wow, okay, so...
And so that's actually a conversation we had with Studio Wildcard, and we had a really great, if you look back on our Twitter account, there's a really great image of our dragon on top of the ARK logo, and they said, man, that is just a fantastic piece of art, but if you're looking to make your own game, you keep it separate. So that's why we don't incorporate the ARK art or ARK branding into the Tribe of Gods branding. Like we have a couple of colors that are similar, but they wanted to keep the two games separate just in case we went off and to make our own game. Now, before I talk about anything like that, we'd really love to bring Tribe of Gods itself to console. We'd love it to make it part of the ARK universe, but we do have that separation so that we could go our own way into an own game, should it ever get popular.
I think that is just the dopest thing, bro. When are you like hoping to actually release your own game? I know it's in the future and it might be hard to speculate, but like, let's just pretend like best case scenario. When are we going to have our Dragonpunk game?
That all depends on the players. Right now, we're just trying to build trust and credibility, and that's the hardest thing to do as a game developer now, because I think players have been so burnt on everything from Kickstarters to AAA games. If I launched a Kickstarter right now and I asked for $100 million to go make a AAA game, people would just laugh at me. They would absolutely laugh. You have to earn that credibility. You have to earn that trust. You have to show that you can make great mods, and we're hoping to have those finalized by October 1st. And then maybe you have to show that you can make great independent games. And so it could take 10, 20 years, and it all depends on how well we earn the players' trust and respect.
Well, you've definitely got a lot of grit then. That's impressive, the amount of foresight that you're approaching all of this with. I don't think I've ever met anybody with that degree of just that ability to just sort of dig their heels into the ground and just grind it out. That's crazy. I wish I had that ability. So just a random fun question. Dude, what the hell, who the hell are you? Like, what's your background? We hear these rumors about this Dragonpunk Dan, and it's just this crazy stuff that everybody hears. You're almost mythical in the ARK community.
I wouldn't say that. Thank you. Thank you for those kind words. I don't think I'd say that. I think we're modern like anyone else. And I know a lot of people have, said we're not doing anything particularly new or novel. And to an extent, they're right. We're trying to do some great mods really well at a really high production value. And we'll take risks as we can. But, first we want to make sure that we have functioning, great code that people can respect. And then we have a few surprises along the way that we think are going to be really innovative. But I don't know, we're mythical. So I guess a little bit about me. You're from Dallas as well, so I don't know if you've heard of St. Mark's School of Texas. It's a pretty prestigious school. I went there. I was like the poor kid. I was not the smelly kid. I was the poor kid who went there. I graduated, top of my class, but then I went and enlisted in the Army at 9/11/2001, and eventually rose up to the rank of captain after going through OCS. Recently, or not too recently, got out of the Army 5 years ago. Became a senior software engineer and cloud architect. And what's funny about that is my degree, my 4-year degree, is actually in video game development. And I've been trying to get a entry-level job into the AAA game development world for 5 years. Can't even get an entry-level job, but was able to become a senior cloud architect, making well over 6 figures, but still can't get in a entry-level job into video game. Yeah, that is the state of the industry right now. It is absolutely nuts.
I mean, hey, so maybe you have the right idea. Just fund your own game, right?
Oh, if you can. I mean, we're all working, exceptionally hard, 2 to 3 jobs. I work nights at the local supermarket Kroger just to make sure everyone gets paid, and everyone does get paid. It's not a lot. It's enough to afford computers, the software, which isn't cheap, but we're getting there. And that combined with a gracious stipend from Studio Wildcard, looks like everything's going to happen. So just take it one step at a time.
Wait, so that's insane. So let me if I understand that right. So you have your primary job, and then you're working a secondary job to support this third project, which is pretty much like your main thing in life. Right. So
not much of a social life. Not much of a social life.
How have you not lost your mind? That's insane how much you've got to do in a day. Wow. Like how do you do it? How do you show up every day with that? You're telling me you work 2 jobs and then do all this modding stuff? You must have not a single minute left in the day for anything.
Absolutely not. And and that's why this has taken some time. So let's be honest, everything that we've done as a mod could probably be done as a AAA studio within about 4 to 6 months. But because we're working so many jobs and doing this on our own and trying to fund this on our own, it does take extra time. So, hopefully someday we can be a true studio with true backing and be able to knock things out a little faster. But now we're doing just the best we can with what we got.
All right. Well, we've been going for a little while. I'm sure that there's more things that I would like to ask you about. And I'm sure there's a lot of questions that other people who are watching this have. And if you guys do have questions, go ahead and drop them in the comments. And maybe at some point we can talk to Mr. Dragonpunk Dan, or as we like to call him, Daddy Dragon. We can talk to him again. And let me see, what was the final thing I was going to run by you? Oh, right. Speaking of the Season 2 roleplay server, how can people get in on that, and what can I do to kind of help you promote that?
Thank you for asking that. All you have to do is sign up on our Discord, the Tribe of Gods Discord. It's completely free. You have to make a character and be committed to role-playing through the season. If you do, though, your actions will be immortalized, and you'll be part of Dragonpunk lore.
Okay, and how do they join? Is this something where you can give me a link and I could just go ahead and post it in the description?
Absolutely, thank you. That'd be great. I'd be happy to send you an open invite link to the Tribe of Gods Discord.
Okay, cool. Then everybody, if you have an interest in this and you want to check out the Leviathan, which is coming out August 7th. Is that correct? I mean,
Sorry.
not publicly, but is it coming out to the Season 2 Dragonpunk servers August 7th? Do I understand that right, or is that not accurate?
Well, that's, all right. Let's actually say September.
Okay, so we're legit getting
Early September, legit early. Like you will see players streaming or putting YouTube videos up with the Leviathan that they're playing early September. Let's put it there.
Okay, so then just so that I understand this correctly. So the Leviathan mod, and are you releasing any additional mods with the Leviathan on around this time? Or is it just the Leviathan?
Also the Fomorian racist mod.
Okay, really cool. Okay, so we're getting some really cool mods. We're getting the races mod, or the racers mod, whatever it is, which we saw on their Twitter. That'll be coming out, as well as the Leviathan, early September. Now that's for private release. Do I understand that correct? And that's just going to be on your servers?
Correct.
Okay, and then we're getting it publicly October 1st.
Right, and that is kind of a win-win because, let's be honest, there's always going to be bugs when a mod comes out. So the players who are role-playing on our servers are going to see it first, but they're also going to help us be able to kind of troubleshoot and test the bugs so it can have a really solid release October 1st. So it kind of, win-win for everyone.
I mean, yeah, it sounds great. And if you guys want to check it out ahead of time and actually participate in all the cool stuff that they're doing, go fly the Leviathan, tame it, however that's going to work. Check it out, make your character, go join them on the server, and maybe you'll see me there too. So, I mean, I think that about covers it. I think we've been going now for what? We've had a little chat for about 27 minutes. I think it's about time we wrap it up. We don't want to go too long. So, thank you, Daddy Dragon, for taking some time to sit down with us, and hopefully we can talk again. I look forward to the Total Conversion mod. I look forward to the Leviathan, the Racer mod. I look forward to everything Dragonpunk does, Mr. Mythical Daddy Dragon. And I especially look forward to seeing this game when you release it in the future. I mean, that's going to be really cool. I expect great things coming from that.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
And yeah, I guess that does it. I'll see you guys in the next video.